This is another educative episode of the CGC Show on AETV. AETV is the voice of higher education in Africa. As usual, we are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. My name is Aja Omi. Don't forget the show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Do follow us on our social media handles at AE_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AETV official on Instagram. Today, our conversation is going to be centered on venturing into agribusiness as a career, focused on crop production. Agriculture is a broad sector which involves crop farming and animal husbandry, including fisheries. Out of agriculture comes agribusiness, which is the whole value chain from the farm to the final consumer. Lots of business ventures are involved in the agribusiness sector, but this interview is skewed toward crop production, with pineapple farming as the area of specialization of our guest for today. I'll introduce him after the break. Stay tuned.
Are you an institution or individual? Do you intend to organize a memorable event to be archived for future reference? Then look no further than AAU Studios, because it's your best bet with our spacious studio and state-of-the-art media equipment such as 4K Panasonic video cameras, KinoFlow lights, assorted microphones, live streaming equipment, among others. You are sure to get the best of productions. Visit us at Trinity Avenue, East Legon, adjacent the National Accreditation Board, or contact the AAU Studios via the following email addresses: info@aau.org, AAUTV@aau.org, or ransford@aau.org. Alternatively, you can call us on +233 244 736280.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AETV, and I mentioned that AETV is the voice of higher education. Today, my guest is in the person of Mr. Francis Sanusi, who is a pineapple farmer, and he's here to tell us more about crop production, basically agribusiness as a career. Welcome on the show, Mr. Francis.
Thank you very much.
I'm so glad you're able to make it.
Same here. I'm so
I
happy
just
to see
introduced you, but I would want you to tell us more about yourself.
Okay, so just as you've mentioned to your audience, my name is Francis Sanusi. I'm a farmer. I'm the director of Frank Gladys Fruits Farms, located at Gbefi in the Pondo municipality. Okay. And we've been in this business for the past 12 years.
Wow.
Yes, and we didn't start off as pineapple farmers. We started off as maize and all the staples. And now we are here as the district, if you like, district-based pineapple farming company. Because in 2016, we were awarded the best pineapple
Congrats.
farming,
I know it's
farmer.
long, it's been long, but congrats anyway.
Thank you very much.
So what actually, you are focusing on pineapple production.
Yes.
Why pineapple production?
Pineapple is a cash crop. Like I said earlier on, we started with the staples, maize, cassava. These are not cash crops. They don't really rake in quick money as pineapple.
Okay.
And so that is one of the reasons why we decided to go into pineapple farming. That's how can we start it.
I see.
Yes. So then again as well, we had a friend at the district level, Ministry of Agriculture, who actually introduced us to the business. Okay. And we did our own research and we did some comparative analysis and arrive at the fact that, no, pineapple is the way to go. And we have been in it since.
Wow. Yes. How has the COVID-19 impacted your sector?
Yes, very immensely, I should say, because it actually affected the value chain, right from the farm to the market. Our main target is the local market. And so now that the local market has been impacted negatively in terms of consumption and all, we have had to reduce production to the barest minimum. And this also has got trickle effect on labor. We have to lay off certain workers, and we also have to put some of the workers on contract. Those were the permanent ones on contract. And so when there's no job to do, they don't come. We don't involve them. And so it has affected us a lot, yes.
We hope that things will be resolved quickly and as soon as possible. Can you walk us through the agribusiness sector and tell us what roles each of the subsectors play in the production?
Okay, so I can talk about pineapple because that is what I've been in for some time. Yes. So pineapple is a cash crop, first of all, and it takes about 15 to 17 months to reach harvest to take place.
Okay.
And so in order to go into a plant like that, you need to do a lot of research. 15 months is a long time, and it has a lot of programs that you need to abide by, some principles and some basic rules in terms of getting the suckers, the pesticide you use, the fertilizers, and when also to actually induce the fruit to shoot and all that. Then also you also have to focus on means of transport to the market. The nearness of the market, the availability of the market is very important. Our main target is the local market.
Markets, okay.
Yes, but we are also open to the export market, which is another ballgame altogether because you need some certification in order to be able to supply to outside markets. So for now, our focus is on the local market. And so with the local market, we have the various market women, which we have put into groups. We have some in Ho, Pandai, Hohwe, and Accra.
Okay, the nearby communities around the factory.
Around our farms.
Okay.
And also we look at the cities as well.
Oh, okay.
Accra, Ho, those places. So we have our clients there who come to us and then request for pineapple. Yes, so that is basically how it is. Yeah.
Within the agribusiness, as you have explained yourself, why did you opt for farming as a career?
Yes, farming has always been a part of me since I was young.
Okay.
I think it sounds like a cliche because everybody will say, okay, we started this when I was young. Mine is real because my mom actually comes from a family of farmers. My grandfather was a farmer. He was into maize farming, and then my mom also interestingly works with the parks and gardens, and so it was easy for her to, when she resigned, I think she resigned, and then she started her own farm. And when we were young, we would go to farm before going to school, and on holidays, we spend our holidays on the farm. So it became part of us.
Okay.
So it wasn't difficult for me to take up farming, even though I am a student of communications and currently still reading for my master's in development communication at GIJ.
Okay.
Yes, so farming is something I really like. Yeah.
And you chose pineapple farming as your core production, as your area of specialization. What influenced you to choose pineapple?
Yes, the influence started from when we were faced with some serious post-harvest loss. We started with maize farming, and we had stored our maize in anticipation for increase in price, and then we can then sell. But unfortunately, the price fell, and we quickly had to push the maize into the market and then make some money, and we ran at a serious loss. And so at the time, we had this agric extension officer who came to us and said, "Oh, why don't you go into pineapple farming? There's this workshop, so it's a free program. So why don't you come and then join us and then learn a thing or two?" So we went for the workshop, and we noticed that pineapple is a very lucrative area. And with good knowledge of it, we can make a lot of money and also create jobs for people. And so we started off with an acre. And even though we're not looking to make any supernormal profit, we're looking at how the market will look like and have a first-hand experience of it. And in the end, we saw that, no, it's a very good produce. It's a very good area. And then we invested into it. And here we are, a full-blown company with close to 50 acres and counting. Yeah.
What are some of the factors that one should consider when entering into crop farming?
The first thing is the land.
Okay.
Yes. Land is very important. Usually it's difficult to get access to land, especially in the urban areas.
Yes.
And so I usually will advise my friends to go to their village where they come from. They should start from there. Usually land there is not that expensive. For example, where we farm in Befi, we rent the land for 200 Ghana cedis for every season. And so...
You rent the land?
Yes. Yes, for a season.
Okay.
Yes. And so land is one of the things you need to consider. And then number two is the kind of crop that you want to go into. You need to research. Research is very important. You need to research on the market. You need to research on even the soil, whether the soil, the rain pattern, you know, all these things are very important for you to research on. So when you are able to do this properly, then you can say, okay, then you can start. You start not as a big farm, but you start to test the market. And when you test the market, you know the gray areas, and then you can polish it, and then now decide to go on a large scale. I usually advise that you don't start off by going on a large scale.
Large scale, of course.
You start
small
and then expand. Yes. And also there are people who want to go into farming, but they don't get. Farming is very capital intensive. It's not easy. It's difficult, but it is not easy. You understand?
Yeah.
What I mean to say is that even though it's difficult, you can do it with hard work. I usually advise people to start by going into the less expensive crop. You know, maybe maize. Maize is about 3-4 months. You harvest 1 or 2 seasons, you accrue some profits, then you start something else.
Okay.
Like pineapple is very expensive to start. An acre is about 10,000 Ghana cedis, and at the end you accrue a lot of profit, but your initial capital is very huge. So you start off with something that is manageable. Then you then extend it and invest into a cash crop like pineapple or mango and the rest.
So are you able to tell how the quantity of pineapples you would say produce within on an acre?
Yes, on an acre. In the book, when if you want to go by the book, that is about 20,000 on an acre.
Okay.
But on the ground, you can plant about between 20 to 22,000 pieces of suckers on an acre. So you are looking at 22,000 pieces of pineapple on an acre. And so if you have 10,000 acres times 22 times 1,000, you can imagine. Yes. So you can tell. Yeah. And then you can also tell the weight as well. You know, depending on how viable the land is. If the land is very fertile, you can get huge sizes from 1.82 kg in terms of the weight of the pineapple.
I see.
Yes. So
I'll let you talk more about it, but then we'll have to go for a break.
Okay.
So do stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
This is Africa's most friendly nation, Ghana. A warm reception awaits you in an environment where you can discover and harness your full potential. Your home is an academic haven lying northeast of the city center, a quick dash from the airport. A spirited community where young, vibrant minds are empowered to express themselves, break academic boundaries, and thrive in an atmosphere of rich cultural heritage and excellence in various collegiate and extracurricular activities. This institution represents a whole new world of fun and offers you a variety of activities, facilities, and services geared towards your total development. Believing in the uniqueness of all our students, we encourage them to pursue excellence in integrity. Welcome to the University of Ghana, your preferred academic destination.
It still is the CGC Show on AAU TV, and we have been discussing crop production. And my guest is a pineapple farmer, so of course we have been discussing farming as a career, especially the agribusiness sector. So I would want you to tell me, how has research institutions like the Faculty of Agriculture of universities or the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, SCAIR, how has it impacted on farming in Ghana, especially like in terms of the development of improved seeds and all of those things? Can you tell us how those institutions have impacted on the pineapple farming sector?
Okay. I want to talk from the ground, okay?
Okay.
By talking from the ground, I mean I want to talk from the point of view of the farmers there.
Okay.
Not the ones that are very research-oriented and all.
Okay.
Normally, at that level, at our level, we rely on the district assemblies. You know, every district assembly has a department of agric.
Okay.
Where they have their agents, or what we call the technical officers, who come round to the farms and then advise based on what their expertise and research that they've done. But to some of us who are quite enlightened, you know, we also do a lot of our research on YouTube.
Okay.
And we make it a point to attend workshops that are organized by these same district level agric officers. And so they have been very helpful. Then also we talk about the government flagship program that we have now, the Planting for Food and Jobs. That is actually supporting farmers. It has its own problems, which myself personally I'm conducting a research on. It's very good, the provision of seedlings, viable seedlings, and subsidized fertilizer to farmers. And also ensuring that they create the market for the farmers and all has been so helpful. So, yes, the technical officers at the district level are very yes, and I'm sure at that level they liaise more with the agencies that you have mentioned. Yes, and I think the local farmers, including some of us, we tap into that knowledge in our activities.
But you mentioned that you sometimes research on YouTube.
Yes.
You know, there are different types of lands, especially, let's say, Ghana. Our land probably might be different from the people in Nigeria, like that of Nigeria. So how are you able to know that this information that I'm getting on YouTube is actually essential to me? And not somebody in Nigeria? How are you able to tell that?
Yes, because I produce pineapple.
Okay.
So I always want to research on pineapple. And I know that when we talk about pineapple production in the world, we are looking at Costa Rica, we are looking at Brazil, even Nigeria here, they produce a lot of pineapple.
Okay.
What does that tell us? It means their land is very viable. What are they doing differently? You know, so these are the things I learned from their videos on YouTube. How they go about their farming, the new things that they are doing, you know. And there is this other group that I belong to. I've forgotten the name of the group. It's a WhatsApp group. And they do also update us on new things that comes up in terms of agriculture and all that. So I learn from the best practice, you know, because that is the level that I want to take our company to.
I see, interesting. In crop farming, particularly pineapple production, what formal partnership exists with universities and then strategic agribusiness pages?
Universities, I can't really, we don't really have partnership with the university.
Okay.
But we have, there's this technical institute in my area, Pandu Technical Institute. You know, they have an agric department, and usually they come to our farms to learn new things and also to practice what they've learned in their classrooms. And they also have their own small farms that occasionally we go and then we discuss things that they are doing or new research that they found out. But in terms of the universities, we have not had any relationship with them yet. But of course, I'm open to such relationship. So if anybody is here watching this show,
I want to know specifically the partnership that exists with universities that actually influences the student farmers to be so interested in farming.
In the universities, usually when you talk to the graduates, I mean my colleagues, even right now, they will tell you that they want to, everybody is talking about entrepreneurship, everybody wants to be on their own. And the universities now, all the universities now have introduced entrepreneurship programs in the university. Even I read some form of entrepreneurship. Yeah. And so that has also broadened people's mind into, you know, venturing into their own business. And most of the guys now are looking at agric, you know, agriculture or agribusiness as a viable area to venture in, you know. So I think the investors are doing well in that domain. Yeah. You understand what I'm talking about? Yes. Okay.
There's a call for mechanized and large-scale cooperative farming. But how many farmers in Africa cooperate with these agencies?
Yes, the cooperative farming has its challenges. Okay. Usually they get funding. People, like, for example, from government. There was this funding that came during the Kufuor government for farmers. I've forgotten its name. And farmers were put into groups and they were supported. Something, I've forgotten. And, you know, they started and in the end, people only joined the group because they wanted the money for their own personal gain. Yeah. And there was limited supervision. And that also made it difficult to actually get proper productivity. Yes. And the ones, so the only one, at the end of the day, only few people sustain the business or the farm, the serious ones, you know. And so the cooperative thing these days is not really working. It's not really working. And so for me, what I would suggest that we do is that we should have, in order to promote farming, one of the biggest challenges the youth face is access to machineries. Okay. Like tractors, combined harvesters, all those things. So if we can have this set up in the various districts where the youth can go and rent for their farm, I don't think they would frown at farming, because when you talk about farming, everybody's thinking about cutlass and hoe. But when
even in Africa, I realize that there are lots of small scale farmers. Yes. Is it because of the machineries that they don't have access to?
That is it. Okay. You know, and small scale farming doesn't take anyone anywhere. you have an acre and you finish harvesting and that is it. You have to wait for another season. Where are you going? You are not going anywhere. People are now looking into irrigation farming. You can farm all year long. And if you don't have the machinery, how can you go into irrigation farming? Do you understand that? Before you can make money out of farming, it has to be big enough. You understand? For you to make money. One thing I like about pineapple is it's all season. You can plant at any time of the season. It's a very strong plant. And that is why you might not need irrigation for pineapple farming. But what about the other type of farm? You need irrigation, and it costs a lot of money to get all those implements. So what I would suggest is we should get all these implements at the district level. We get the technical officers to supervise them and ensure that people who want them can hire them at a subsidized price and all that. Then let me quickly talk about the Planting for Food and Jobs. Like I said, it's a very good program.
Yeah.
But the problem there is that it supports farmers who are willing, who have farms not more than 2 acres. So if you have a farm that is more than 2 acres, you cannot enjoy the Planting for Food and Job
But they
program.
are actually the ones that produce in large quantities.
The who?
I mean the 2 acres. You said more than 2 acres.
Yes.
The project doesn't seek to support those people.
Yes.
And I am saying that rather those people are the ones that produce in large quantities.
Those people may want to produce in large quantities.
Okay.
But if you have a program that supports only people who should go into only 2 acres, not more than that.
Yeah.
Then you are restricting people.
Okay.
And like I said, you can only get a lot of money from farming if you go large scale.
Large scale, yeah.
10 acres, 20 acres, 50, 100 acres. But 2 acres and getting support for only 2 acres, what is the motivation? You know.
What other challenges are you facing?
Yes, so the machinery, the government support in terms of planting of food and jobs should be revised.
Yeah, okay.
You know, should be revised. The market too. And I'm very happy about what government is doing now, you know, in terms of what they call the factories that they are opening now.
Yeah.
I think some years back there was this sugar factory.
Yes.
And another time the Confit pineapple factory.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen their products around.
Yes.
In
We want to have more of that. You know, if we have more of that, we the farmers will be happy and will be ready to produce more with support like those that I've mentioned right now. You know, people are ready to go into farming big time. Yes. You know.
I see.
Yes.
I would want you to tell us what are the attractions to small scale farming?
What are the attractions?
Attractions, like what really attracts the people in small scale farming?
Well, with small scale farming, I think people do it just to support their families. Yes. So in my area, all those who are into small scale farming, most of them are government workers, like teachers, some nurses, you know, just to support the home. When they have this small backyard garden or this small maize farm, pepper farms and all that, you know. And then besides, another group of people who are into small scale farming are the aged in the villages. Yeah. You know, to keep them active, so they go into small scale farming like pepper, and then they harvest and sell it in the market and all of that. But like I said, small scale farming does not feed a nation.
Yeah.
You know, it just feeds an individual.
Yeah.
You understand that when you go to the developed world, we have less number of people going into farming, yet they're able to feed their nation. But in Ghana and Africa, we have a lot of people going into small-scale farming. But at the end, we cannot sustain, we cannot feed ourselves. We need to import tomatoes from Burkina Faso and all sort of importation that we do these days, you know.
Do absentee farmers necessarily make good farmers?
Absolutely.
Really? How?
Yes, it depends on the kind of people you work with.
Okay.
Yes, I can categorize myself as kind of an absentee farmer at the moment.
Okay.
Because currently I'm breeding for my master's.
Yeah.
And so I come for weekend school and then go to the farm, you know. What you need to do is to get somebody that is reliable. Somebody that is reliable on the ground. And now with technology now, you can follow everything that is going on your farm. Somebody has come, you've awarded a contract that they do this and that. We have a smartphone, they can take videos of what they've done.
Yeah.
You know.
To show you.
Yes. And even people I have a friend who has a very big maize farm. He's somewhere in south of Africa.
Okay.
He has the maize farm here, and he could track when his tractor is being used. He could track everything that goes on his farm.
Yeah, I think it all boils down to how technology has helped in your sector.
So absentee farmer still works. Yes, it still works. Just have to get the right people. And then subscribe to one of these technologies that support. I don't know much about the technology as such. I think I'll have to talk to him on that so that we can educate people on it. Yes.
Yes, because like you, for instance, you were here in Accra.
Yes.
And you are here in Accra. You'll be going back to the Volta region.
Yes.
Probably you've given the work to somebody. If you had the technology to be able to be monitoring all of the things that is going on whilst you're not there, I think you'll be able to to produce just as if you are there with them.
Exactly.
So I think it's a very, very good.
So absentee farmers still make good farmers. Once you are serious and passionate about what you do, you make it.
Based on your own experience, what does the future hold for our young farmers, those that are studying agriculture, or even entrepreneurs, people that would want to venture into crop production? What do you think the future holds for them?
The future is very bright.
Let's see.
I can tell you, the future is very bright. What the youth need now is support from government. Support from government in terms of...
And agencies, of course.
Yes. And agencies.
Yes.
And agencies. And so, I mean, if we can get this support from these people, coming out with very good programs that support farmers in terms of machineries and in terms of fertilizers, you know, in terms of irrigation and all that, the youth are ready to go into farming. Yeah, they are ready. And then if we can also reduce importation of certain food items and then patronize what we produce here.
Exactly.
Yes, because if it is not enough for you to produce a lot of fruit or pineapple here, at the end of the day, more is being imported into the country.
Why don't you invest in what the people are already doing to increase production?
Exactly. Exactly.
Your final words to anybody who wants to go into farming, particularly crop production.
Yes. My advice is that you can do it. You can do it. All you need to do is to conduct research into what you are going into. You must be passionate about it. If you don't have passion, you cannot do it. Passion is everything. Once you have passion, you can start it. And don't start thinking about profit on the first day. Start small and grow.
Yeah.
Pineapple farming, I didn't start yesterday. We've been in this for like 12 years.
12 years, yeah.
And it was through that process that we became best pineapple farming farmers in my community.
In your community, yeah.
And now we have a full-blown company that is in pineapple production for local farmers.
Yeah.
So you start small and expand. Yes.
Thank you so much for making time to come on the show.
Thank you too.
And I'm hoping to get some of your pineapple juice.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most
Thank you too for tuning in. We have been discussing crop production as a career, especially agribusiness. If you have the desire to go into crop production, you should have the passion, like my guest said. You should have the passion, and you should be ready to invest. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Francis Sanusi. And thank you too for tuning in. Don't forget, the show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any comments, you can send them via our WhatsApp number provided beneath your screen, and also on our social media handles at AE_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AETV official on Instagram. My name is Aja Omi, and I have been your host. Do stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.